and welcome to Jambareeqi's Animal World. I'm your host, Jambareeqi. I'm out here in an African desert. I'm not sure which one, don't ask me, but this land is full of very interesting wildlife. Let's take a look, shall we? Over here you can see a pair of rhinos mating. You could say that they're a bit horny. And here we see a polar bear, a creature native to the African desert, and a common prey of the giraffe. And here we see internet reviewer Whyboy feasting on the bones of a zebra. What the fuck? Why is he doing that? Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. Now, some of you are probably wondering, what the hell is the Wild Thornberrys? The Wild Thornberrys was a cartoon series created by Klasky Csupo, the same studio behind Rugrats. It followed the adventures of a little girl called Eliza Thornberry, who had the magical gift of talking to animals. Eliza's parents were nature documentarians, so her family travelled the world in a convoy and filmed wild animals along the way. Many things made the Wild Thornberrys unique. Eliza was an identifiable character for children, particularly little girls, the characters had relatable family problems, and the show was rich with educational value, showcasing a variety of cultures and animals. Many people have criticised Eliza for interfering with nature too much, which I can understand, but I still think that it was an awesome show. In 2003, the Thornberrys were given their own movie. The Wild Thornberrys movie is an animated fantasy adventure. Eliza is given the responsibility of babysitting a group of cheetah cubs. Unfortunately, poachers steal one of the cubs. To make matters worse, Eliza's parents discover that she's been interacting with dangerous wild animals and decide to send her to a British boarding school. Despite being moved to another country, Eliza becomes determined to return to Africa, track down the poachers and save the cub. This movie opens up with a clear and understandable exposition on who the Thornberrys are, what they do, and how Eliza got a magical gift. This is great because it makes the film accessible to those who haven't seen the TV show. And you know what? You don't have to see the TV show to understand the Wild Thornberrys movie. Yay! Unfortunately, the film itself is kind of unsatisfying. Sure, a lot is at stake, but the film still doesn't feel big enough. TV adaptations need to be grander and larger than their TV counterparts to justify their transition to feature-length film. The Wild Thornberrys movie fails to step things up, and I think this is because it decided to save its most immense drama and action for towards the end of the film. Until then, it feels like not much is going on. We're just watching Eliza plodding along trying to find the poachers and work out their plans. A lot of this movie feels like filler to pad things out until the movie starts getting exciting. However, the third act, which is made up of the semi-finale and the finale, is very fun. It's full of tension, it's thrilling, and it has a dramatic moment that changes everything. It's just a shame that we have to wait this long for things to get entertaining. The thing that saves this movie has to be its wonderful sense of humour. This is a really funny movie. I laugh countless times at the goofy moments and witty, sharp one-liners. There's lots of funny lines in this film. Many scenes in this movie could have been really boring if it wasn't for the hilarious comic relief. So, this film is a very effective comedy, but it doesn't have a strong enough feature-length narrative, and it reserves most of its exciting set pieces for the final act. I'm going to have to give the content just 2 points. Eliza is a passionate, energetic, and relentlessly brave girl, fueled by her love and care towards wildlife. The film does a fine job exploring the responsibility of a magic gift and what it means to her. In addition, towards the end of the film, the movie cleverly puts her in a situation where she has to communicate with animals using actions rather than words. Not only does this test her physically and mentally as a character, but it also lends to some remarkable visual storytelling. Darwin, Eliza's best friend, is a very spoiled chimp. His whining and whinging can get aggravating, but he does provide some comical moments and witty one-liners. Debbie, Eliza's older sister, spends most of the film making first world complaints, which can get annoying after a while. However, she can be mature and does show a tender side towards Eliza in this time of need. Also, she develops a very charming friendship with a teenager from an African tribe. Despite their language barrier, they have a lovely chemistry. Nigel Thornberry is a legend. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. He's an iconic character. He's charismatic, tender-hearted, highly entertaining, and everything he says is hilarious. Sadly, I feel as if he's an underused character in this film. Sure, he has some sweet moments with Eliza at the beginning and the end, but for the rest of the movie, he feels brushed aside. Why doesn't this movie appreciate you, Nigel? You wonderful, wonderful man, you! Someday, they'll erect a statue of you. Nigel. I can't really tell you who the villains are without revealing spoilers, I'm sorry. The villains do a decent job hiding their true intentions, but once the cat is out of the bag, they turn out to be very generic vanilla bad guys. They don't have much personality, and they have hardly any character development. These guys are one of the main reasons why this movie feels so small. I'm going to give 3 points to the characters of this film. The best thing about this movie has to be the way that it looks. The African backgrounds are stunning to look at, the character designs are fantastically odd, and the colour palette is beautifully chosen. The character animation is refined, expressive and fluid. You can always count on Klasky Csupo to up their game for the animation in their TV adaptations. The character animation balances tender drama with wacky comedy without ever undermining or overdoing anything. In addition, the movie can be very cinematic at times, as the directors play around with the camera to create unique angles and shots. However, the standout visual piece has to be a gorgeously animated dream sequence. It's so inventive and breathtaking that it gave me goosebumps. It's so good. It's so pretty. I'm going to give 4 points to the animation of this film. Lacey Chabert voices Eliza. She sounds active, dynamic, and highly spirited in the role.
Hey guys, it's Eliza! Oh, you've grown so big!
Tom Kane voices Darwin. Kane sounds lively and camp, but also captures the childish nature of the chimpanzee by sounding very silly too.
Well, you didn't think I'd let you get civilized without me, did you?
Danielle Harris provides the voice of Debbie, and she captures the angsty teen persona right down to a T.
Just when we get something cool to drive, I have to be grounded.
Tim Curry is the voice of Nigel Thornberry, and as always, he's highly entertaining. He puts so much charisma and gusto into his voice.
Good thing I take after you, eh, Mumsy? Marianne, have you had any luck locating my binoculars?
Try around your neck.
Why?
Oh, look over there. It's a pack of wild points, and there's 4 of them. I'm going to give them to the voice acting of this film. Yes. The original music score for this film paints a very vivid atmosphere of the African wildlands, using tribal pieces and ethnic rhythms. However, countless shoehorned pop songs are shoved into the soundtrack. With a few exceptions, most of these songs only seem to be put into the film to make it seem hip. This is not only cringy, but it also often ruins the atmosphere created by the composer sometimes. So, despite having a really good score, I feel as if that a lot of the forced and contrived pop songs weigh down the soundtrack. I'm going to have to give the music for this film just 2 points because of that. To conclude, I enjoyed watching the Wild Thornberrys movie a little bit thanks to some impressive animation, a strong protagonist, laugh-out-loud comedy, and an engaging finale. However, I feel as if that many things were missing from it to make it a more satisfying and memorable feature-length film. There's plenty to please the fans of the TV show thematically and aesthetically, but many people will feel let down or disappointed. The Wild Thornberrys movie has gained a total of 15 points, which translates to 3 tribal strawberries out of 5. If you enjoyed such films as Rugrats Go Wild or any of the Dr. Dolittle movies, then the Wild Thornberrys movie is totally for you. So, have you seen the Wild Thornberrys movie? If you have, then let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. Have you not seen the Wild Thornberrys movie? Do you want to? Do you not want to? And why? I've been Jambareeqi and I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, then click the like button below. And if you're new to this channel, then I encourage you to subscribe! In the next episode, I'm going to review The Secret of Kells. Cheerio, folks.